What's going on, YouTube? This is Brad with the Carnivore Experiment. Just an update for you this morning. So today I am fasting. I have not really purposefully fasting. I'm just eating when I'm hungry mostly. So I will say though, once I make a decision to fast in the morning, I don't intend to eat throughout the day. I just don't bring anything with me. When I've done keto and experimented with carnivore in the past, I've used in a pinch, if you get real hungry, I've used like a McDonald's quarter pounder beef patty, but I very much try to avoid that. Personally, I know it's all beef or whatever, and I just do what you want with that. So anyways, I say all that to say that I yesterday made it through without any caffeine intake at all. If you remember, I talked about how I still have a problem with energy drinks, Celsius peach teas, especially. I'm a tea fan, so I may still include tea from time to time because I like tea and it gives me a good variety from water. But I do, water's fine. So yesterday, I made it through the whole day drinking spring water only, no coffee, no energy drinks, and no tea. Today is the same goal, planning to just be completely clean through the course of, the next couple days, is at least if I can. I'm not going to say if I need a little caffeine, I'm not going to have it. I'm going to have it. I'm not going to cut caffeine out of my life 100%. But I do want to cut out the addiction to energy drinks. I don't drink coffee anymore in the morning. I gave that up. So if I can get through the morning kind of little slump where I want energy. But those of you that follow me know, and I've talked about this before, I have ADHD, and I don't take any kind of medication. I take it's a anti-anxiety medication. I have anxiety and ADD and a bit of depression. That hasn't been bothering me a lot, especially since I started carnivore. It seems my overall mood and anxiety has improved. ADD is something I still struggle with, but I do understand that diet and lifestyle changes can positively influence that. So, saying that, because I don't take any Adderall or similar products, those are stimulants and they counteract the symptoms of ADHD. So, one of the things that I've done is caffeine is a stimulant, and one of the things that I've been doing through the course of my life is just pounding caffeine, like energy drinks addiction, essentially. Now that is a stimulant and more or less kind of counteracting the symptoms of ADHD, so I think I'm going to be experiencing, some changes on that, obviously, but I feel well. I feel good right now. So I just wanted to kind of touch base on the fact that cutting out stimulants is a difficult thing. And I believe that some of the feelings and cravings that you have throughout the course of the day are your body signaling you that you want, water is the number one. Usually it's dehydration or hunger pains typically come from being thirsty. And then sugar, which I've, cut those cravings away. So sugar carb cravings are gone. I don't even care about them anymore. Like it's only been 9 days, 10 days. Well, see, I'm at 10 days now. So 10 days in, and the sugar cravings are totally gone. I don't know. I don't crave when I'm hungry. I'm not craving a bag of potato chips. I'm craving a ribeye with salt and butter. And I want it. It's actually funny because I want it like more rare even. I want it like, I crave it kind of less done. I've always been a mid-rare guy, but I like it even more, a little bit more on the rare side, a little bit saltier. I don't know, it's just the cravings that you get now. So we'll see what those do as I continue to eat this way over time. But so far feeling great. So today, same thing. I'm going to drink nothing but spring water. Planning on fasting until this evening. When I break my fast, the fast break will come tonight via a couple of ribeye steaks with some butter. So I'm really looking forward to that. But we're not going to talk about it too much because, like I said, not eating right now. Don't want to trick myself into becoming hungry. So, I had some debate on my World Carnivore Tribe group. Not mine, I don't own it, but in the World Carnivore Tribe group that I'm a member of. I've been very active in there recently, and I just ask a lot of questions and stuff. So yesterday I saw a glucose response with zero food intake. And it wasn't a massive response. I kind of said massive, but it wasn't massive. I was hovering around 70, 80 70 to 80 millimoles per deciliter, I think is what it is measured, and I can't remember if it's millimoles or if it's I'll have to find that out. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I was hovering around 70 or 80 with my blood sugar, and it went to about 100, and it was not stimulated by anything that I was aware of, no food or anything. But it's kind of come to my attention that it could be related to a little bit of a workout, or it could even be related to the fact that I was, preparing to eat, essentially an adrenaline response, and then my body, my liver, kind of gluconeogenesis created some blood sugar in preparation for that. And I was doing a little more active cooking, I guess. I was making, I made whole chicken wings in the air fryer. So kind of, normal dinner, not necessarily more active, but I guess could be perceived that way. But I felt great. So one thing I want to just really talk about is, as I monitor these things, what I'm hoping to see is just more of a flatline basis. I think that coming out of what I would consider some metabolic damage, I guess, a little bit of insulin resistance. If you've seen my labs, they're not way far off base. Like when you look at me, you wouldn't say, "Holy smokes, that guy's gonna die." But a lot of fat on the belly and the stomach area, a lot of visceral fat, insulin resistance, some on the track to pre-diabetes. The markers for my my cholesterol and lipoprotein little a are high. I expect them to stay high on the carnivore diet because that's one of the things is HDL. Everybody talks about cholesterol and how cholesterol is not as bad as it's been made to sound, and again, those are things that you need to study and understand yourself and really look into the science. Talk with your doctor about. My particular doctor, I don't go to the doctor often. I never have, but my particular doctor is more adamant about keeping blood cholesterol low. He's kind of a classically trained doctor, and he has more of a Mediterranean kind of way of eating as the best way of eating in his mind. That's fine. Truth be told, this the reason that I do this is, and the reason that I'm documenting everything that I can is because I don't really care what the medical opinion is from anybody. I ask the sources that I want to, and I follow, Sean Baker, Ken Berry, Paul Saladino, all these guys who have sort of alternate mythology on health science. But at the end of the day, I believe that everybody has a sort of unique result. I believe there is a proper human diet. You hear this terminology a lot, and in my mind, Ken Berry's got it right with that, hands down. I think low carbohydrate, I think humans in general are not, there's no doubt we're not supposed to be eating processed carbs and sugars and high fructose corn syrup. That stuff just did not exist. Seed oils, high fructose corn syrup, all these man-made substances that did not exist, that everyone pretends like aren't the reason why Americans are dying left and right, is just insane to me. I really don't get it. But outside of that, do I believe that the carnivore way is the only way? No, I really don't. I think that it's the way for a lot of people. I think it's probably the way for me. But I don't say that you couldn't have, some certain very low carbohydrate intake as a person and be very successful with that. That's kind of an N of one experiment, which is what I'm doing here. So the goal for that is to just document everything upon yourself, see how you feel. If you do good with it, do it. If you're okay with keto and some low carb, things, do that. I personally have found that keto works really well for me, but carnivore is keto, essentially. It's the most restricted form of keto. You think of keto, you think, okay, 20, 40 grams of carbs a day. And for me, I saw the most success between 20 and 40 grams of carbs per day. I would find that if I went up to 40, 60, 80, and I started counting, trying to pay attention to net carbs, and then you're still using artificial sweeteners, you're still really just being, in the way that I was doing it, you're essentially just replacing some of the sweets and snacks with the same stimuli, just in different forms. So sucralose or stevia, or the list goes on. There's a ton of them. So for me, carnivore is the most restricted form of keto. So if you see in the community, a lot of folks will progress through standard American diet, then they'll try a low carb or low carb, high fat kind of sort of keto, and then they'll go keto, truly, and then they'll kind of progress to carnivore. That's a very common thing that we see in the carnivore community. That's what I personally did. That's what Ken Berry's done. It's what a lot of people have done, and I think the reason for that is just ultimately desire, and maybe desire to see results. But you think about people like Michaela Peterson, who has autoimmune responses and just feels bad if she eats anything that's not, beef, basically. And I don't have that issue. At least I don't know that I do. It's possible that I have my whole life and just never really noticed it. But for me, the real goal is to just be healthier overall, and obviously lose weight, progress, feel better. So there's really no known autoimmune responses currently. And so again, people use ways of eating for different kind of results. But again, I think that it's been a beautiful day yesterday with no caffeine. Today's the same thing. I'm trying to go a little bit cleaner for a little while, flush the toxins out of my body, and then if I do end up having a caffeine source, it'll probably be some tea, some black tea, or some if I guess I wanted to be like dirty, maybe I'd have a Zavia. That's probably the cleanest soda you can have if you're gonna have a soda. But yeah, we'll see. Again, I document it as I go, and I'll pay attention to the responses, and ultimately the goal is to just really have water, salt, and beef, bacon, butter, eggs. That's really it. Trying to just be as clean as possible and get to that homeostasis and of just being clean. So the next thing I'm targeting is vaping. We've talked about that. I vape still, and I'm going to quit that. And once I can quit caffeine, which is day 2 of kind of cutting that out, then I'll start to target vaping, which I've got 2 vapes left, so it should be done here at the end of this week, hopefully. And when those are done, my intention is to not vape anymore. And the last thing that I would have that would be a vice would be marijuana. So I am, marijuana, Cali sober, whatever you want to call it. I don't have any intent on changing that. Maybe I will, but as of right now, I don't. The reason that I wanted to originally was that I thought that it negatively affected my ability to maintain or control myself from impulsive decisions, especially related to junk food. But I haven't found that that's an issue for me. And as of right now, I don't see any real reason to not, partake, I guess, if you will. So there's really no, I'm not an active user. I'm kind of a minimal, in the evenings kind of person, and I take care of, helps me sleep, if you want to say something about it. So, Anyways, I'll try to edit this one a little bit. I got a little bit carried away here. We'll see. But I want to see if you guys have any questions or experiences, pros, cons, or otherwise on the getting off of caffeine. So no carbohydrates, no alcohol, no coffee, and now 24 hours with no energy drinks. So water only today, fasting. We're gonna break the fast around 6 o'clock tonight with a ribeye mid-rare with butter and salt. That's it, guys. Let me know if you got any questions or comments. Let me know if there's anything you want to see. I'm happy to help you, happy to answer, happy to find answers myself and just kind of build this community. So documenting everything we go along the way. The carnivore experiment is what we do. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.